All right, ladies and germs, we are back. We are back with our round 2 set of matches. So I do have up on the screen there so everybody can take a look at our round 1 shakeouts. So as you can see there, you got your Raptors having a 4-0 win over the Hurricane. You got Ember taking 4-1 over Supernatural. Kai 4-1 over Phantom. So we're seeing a lot of these pretty disparate scores, right? We're seeing the large swaths of differences in points in this first round, which is something you expect to see because when you start Swiss style, generally it matches top versus bottom, right? And then it sort of shrinks that gap as you go through and the standings kind of normalize. So now let's scroll down towards our round 2. And there she is. So that is what we're going to be dealing with for round 2. But the matchup we have got for you on this particular channel, as you see at the top of your screen there, is Dark Matter versus BRSEK. So that is a NA versus EU matchup. One of the first, I think, of the day, at least on live channels, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe there was one on one of the other channels. But this is going to be played on Quarantine. So, Sleepy, I'm going to cut you in here. Yeah, I see you nodding your head there. And I agree with the nodding of your head. What are your thoughts on this matchup and, of course, this matchup on this map?
Well, you know, it's second round, so the groupings become closer, if you might say. The rankings get a little bit closer from the pre-seeding into the decision factoring. Of course, so do the win-loss and other factors from the previous round. So matchups should be getting tighter and tighter as we go forth. And I've heard a lot of good things about BRSEK throughout the season from the EU side. Dark Matter's been performing well. We just watched them perform quite well against their previous matchup, which was, sorry, looking at my screen, Delta Squad. And that went a little badly for Delta Squad there in the end. But overall, well for Dark Matter. They closed things out very nicely. So I'm expecting to see a good turnout here. Both teams' playstyles seem like they would be a fit for Quarantine, so I'm excited to see Quarantine. I didn't get to see it yesterday as a player, and that's one of my personal favorite maps, so I'll be excited to see what the teams have in store for us, but I think we will see a bit closer of a matchup than we saw from the scorelines in round 1.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the case as we go through the matches, right? As we go through the day, we're going to start seeing these battles for sort of back and forth battles for the win. It's not going to be teams sweeping rounds, especially towards the top of the bracket. We're going to start seeing those close fights and those long games. I mean, that first round, we were able to cast 2 matches and still had to wait on a third to complete. So quite quickly, a lot of teams were wrapping things up, and I think we're going to see that slow down a little bit, especially because, fatigue for a player sets in. You start to play a little slower. You start to get a little tired physically. So I think we're going to see that definitely coming into play today because we are playing one extra round because there are more teams in Group B. So more rounds are necessary to sort of normalize the standings, get a more accurate first place winner. And that is, that's kind of the way things shake out. So right now we've got Dark Matter and BRSEK starting to file into the lobby. It looks like we've got 5 players in so far, but we are still waiting on the last 5 to tune in. But Sleepy, I believe you've got a little shout out, little call out for one of our sponsors that we've got queued up.
Yeah, absolutely. We found out this morning the folks over at Rebuff Reality are hosting a bit of a promotional this weekend. They're hosting a 10% off for the next 24 to 36 hours over on their website on their VR Power products. You just use the code POWERYOURVR at checkout. You can also use !power in the chat to get the details for that as well. But you can get a discount on their little power pack that is Quest and Quest 2 from a recent statement I saw on their Twitter compatible. So extend the battery life, which is much needed in days like today when you get into those championships. If you're one of our newer players on the Quest or the Quest 2, you'll know battery life is one of those key aspects of playing in the league. So make sure that you guys go and check that out. Maybe pick one up if you have the chance, or pick one up for a loved one in your life or a friend of yours if they're a VR fanatic, and give them the gift of longer play times. So again, go over and check that out over there on their website.
Yeah, I picked that up not during the promotion, and actually just before they became one of our official sponsors and had given prizes to the league. So I paid my own money for it, and it's a fantastic product. It's sitting about 10 feet from me right here, attached to my Quest at all times, and it's just great. You get to throw it on. You know, I worry about battery life a lot less. Plus, it gives you that forward to back balance, right? So you don't have the headset sitting on the front of the face. So it's got kind of a little ballast functionality too that's really, really nice. So do go check that out. We do appreciate Rebuff Reality sponsoring us and getting that code for everybody. I'm sure people who will play today will appreciate why it may be necessary to have one of those. So thank you to those guys, and of course thank you to all the other sponsors for giving all their products. You've seen some of their ads coming up on stream, as well as their banners at the bottom. So thank you to them. They are going to be the ones handing out a good chunk of that $15,000 prize pool that these teams are fighting for today. So very exciting stuff. We are still waiting on the last couple of members of BRSEK to file into the lobby. So we're going to take just a very brief intermission here while we get every team member inside of the lobby, but we will come straight back into gameplay. So don't go anywhere. Hopefully just a couple more minutes, and then we will get underway in round 2, literally just a minute or two. So we'll be back in just a moment. right, ladies and gentlemen, the long wait is over. Looks like BRSEK not able to field their 5th, so they did have to start off with just 4 because the 20-minute rule is in effect as it is in regular season. You cannot delay a game for longer than 20 minutes just to keep things flowing, but we are underway. Dark Matter starting things off here on Quarantine with that north spawn. We're getting set up here. The objective they're dealing with, of course, is that center burning right next to the cockpit of the fuselage in the dead middle of the map.
Yeah, I'm tracking the defense here off the break, and young pervert here in an interesting position I've not seen taken up very often in the second story of this engine building here in the west. It's got a good overlook to this western approach that if the offense isn't careful, he might be able to capitalize a kill or so.
Yep, that camera bind was
Oh, my apologies.
not correct there. My apologies to the stream, but yes, this is the location Sleepy mentioned. Yeah, I mean, this is one of those ambush spots, right? You don't have to make a lot of noise. Exactly. You don't have to get peeky. You could just wait until the offense goes past you and then do most of your damage as they approach the objective. We'll see if that's how Young decides to play this.
It'd be great if he had true intel, like you know, if he got a call out from a teammate that he's got 3 people going by him, because then he could just be patient enough to let all 3 get out, and he have a better chance of getting multiples rather than, say, starting with the first one that crosses his line of sight and jumping on the first available target, thereby leading to a higher chance for the refrag. Anyways, Dark Matter are on the move, but a bit methodically, a bit slowly. They definitely don't want to leave themselves exposed, but we do have Neo here who's come up through the parking garage area. He might have been spotted by Tankist laying prone towards the east, but he's in a good striking position here as soon as his team's in a supportive position. But I do think Tankist sees him, and Young Pervert finds Aquafighter across the map in the west.
Yeah, that is exactly what that position is designed to do. And with that suppressed weapon, he's definitely got a bigger advantage. Now Will, who's approaching down low, is going to have a harder time IDing where that position came from, right? When you got the suppressor on, that's the entire goal, is to make sure that you are not easily identifiable position-wise in your location. Take a look here now. Tankist does spot out Neo in that prone position Sleepy was mentioning, and that is going to be 2 out for Dark Matter here. And BRSEK starting off a man down, now swinging the advantage in their favor, yeah.
Yeah. And it looks like Willcell's actually going to divert away. Oh, nope, she's gone up the stairs. So now BRSEK is actually here going to have a better advantage. And I think Young Pervert might hear this. No, he's looking down. He's not quite sure where the noise is. He's heard something in this direction. He's maneuvering, but Willcell's still not quite sure exactly where Young is, but he's not paying attention. Willcell's look at the corner, and she will be able to find Young Pervert. And that's 1 down for BRSEK, evening things out for Dark Matter as they are, again, playing the man advantage off the gate. Shots going out towards the south rooftop, and Zucchini able to grab Partisan as well. Mad Outdoors now pushing towards the objective. He finds Crossfire from 2. Vladich will find 1. Zucchini finds the refrag onto that, and the objective is somewhat open as long as Zucchini doesn't expose himself, but he does. He gets grabbed by Tankist, and it's a 1v1. It's Willcell versus Tankist.
And she is a little bit desynced with the team, right? That time to clear that 5-story building, that is where that pain is coming from. And now just getting to the field of battle, not having that full set of intel as to where Tankist is. But Tankist also, you know, likely not aware that Will would be coming from this angle just yet.
Yeah, highly unlikely. I mean, I'm sure he knows someone's over there because his teammate was taken out from this from his position in the far west. But yeah, absolutely no prior no knowledge after that to suggest exactly which angle she'll approach from. And here it is, the look. Willcell sees Tankist, and that's it. Dark Matter secure the first round. It's 1-0 here on.
Yeah, really well played there by BRSEK to try to hold that objective. Again, being a man down on a map like Quarantine is so much more damaging than it is on a smaller map like Cargo or even Bazaar or Suburbia, because there's just so much real estate, and especially, you know, with the we'll call it relatively newer changes to quarantine, there's a lot more verticality. There's a lot of places for enemies to come from, and so that is,
and to hide.
yeah, it is not a very easy position to hold. Looks like Tankist scooped up 3 kills for his team there. A great hold by him. But Dark Matter in the end coming away with that win. It does look like BRSEK does have their 5th player now in the lobby, so things should even out quite a bit. And we'll see how that changes things, because again, they did a great job there, and maybe that one extra man would have been the thing they needed to win that last round.
It's very true. Yeah, I mean, Pervert took down the one to balance things out right out of the gate, right? And then they managed to scoop the second one, Tankist, onto Neo out of the parking garage. So immediately they managed to grab that advantage and use it quite well up until the end, when things start to unravel with that coordinated push onto the objective building. So some great stuff from both sides there in round 1. Dark Matter coming out with it, but it really one of those ones where it could have gone either way, you know?
Yeah, I firmly believe that, you know, had Will Cell been there from the get, the Dark Matter would have won that quickly and easily. And I think that now that BRSEK has 5, we're going to start to see things even up a little bit. But we don't have to wait very long to see if that conjecture is correct, because round 2 is now getting underway. You see BRSEK spawning there in the far east on the center side, so a different spawn for this objective. Meanwhile, Dark Matter here on the objective as they are defending. So the round is kicking off now. We'll see exactly what this different spawn location will opt for the BRSEK offense.
Yeah, typically regarded as a difficult spawn for this objective, because it doesn't offer you that protection of having to cross, or not have to cross, I should say, those main streets north and south until you're ready to do so. Here in the east, with the exception of going through the parking tunnel in the center, there's really not much option that doesn't have a sight line on it. So you're really kind of stuck in the spawn at first, but luckily for BRSEK, they were able to break out in the north quite well, actually managing to get 3 up there. And surprisingly enough, Dark Matter doesn't have anyone on that roof corner looking for the north break.
Yeah, that is such a key position to have, because it blocks off so much of the northern approach, and it's such a simple little, you know, angle to hold. You don't have to commit yourself heavily to it. You're not super exposed. It's usually just good enough for intel. But to not have anybody watching this deep north cut is dangerous. It's dangerous for Dark Matter to allow somebody in, you know, potentially all the way through to the west side of the map.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not against, you know, against the grain meta, if you will, or an anti-meta in regards to defensive positioning. And you can see Matt Outdoors is in an interesting position himself there. But yeah, I'm just a little concerned of the opportunity given to the offense here to just take territory away here on the map, and such critical territory for being able to attack and just gain intel on this objective. I mean, the north rooftop is essentially open, with a small exception of a window that Matt Outdoors has. You can see his laser painting that area now. But yeah, I mean, it's just weird to see Dark Matter leaving that door open for them.
There's going to be action here as Vladich and Young both pushing Matt Outdoors' position as he does tuck in. The timing there.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
I mean, the timing there could not have been any more perfect for the offense. However, you know, this is now when the defense can get up behind you when you don't expect it.
Yep. Ooh, interesting. Not committing himself inside, because that's, of course, a lot of exposure going through that gated doorway there. That choke point sitting in that corner is quite different. Now Young going to be taking some suppressive shots off the scaffolding towards the objective building. It's going to cause Dark Matter to pull back a little bit, be a little bit more defensive there inside.
Yeah, all of BRSEK here stacked up on this eastern side. They've still got to deal with Matt, who could swing around wide into the north and come around the back and really do some damage to this offensive push. But they're gonna try to get into Will Cell's building and see if they can potentially unseat that position. I mean, that would be a huge push for them. They really start to open up the western approach by doing that. Will now dropping down to the bottom floor. Starting to hear some of these things coming out. Flash in. Not going to work for them. There's Matt finding Young as he started to sweep around to the west. Now we'll see if Vlanich will be prepared for this, because Matt is going to be watching this angle, and there it is. Matt not prepared as Vlad finds one, but Will evens things out by nabbing Tankus right underneath the nose of the teammate.
Meanwhile, over in the east, Senior Sanchez and Partisan now playing their way up. Partisan definitely going to be able to have heard the comms from Zucchini and Aqua. Aqua now calling out she believes she hears footsteps near her location, so that's going to be intel. She'll probably get some backup watch there from her fellow teammates. Partisan obviously knowing she's there as well. Interesting, I think he's going to be going for a grenade, possibly? Yeah, grenade goes up, but it doesn't go over. Flash over.
I like this little angle. Wilsell checking the tablet at the wrong time. Vlad finding that pick. Dr. Aquafighter, meanwhile, does nab Partisan as he sweeps into the hospital. And now there's just 30 seconds left in this 3v2.
Yeah, and the two are far apart, and I'm pretty sure unable to communicate. I'm pretty sure I want to say Senior Sanchez is a reservist in this case here. I could be wrong, so forgive me if I am. I'm not sure the communication is there, and Senior Sanchez makes the break. He gets the trade on the objective, but it's not going to be enough. It will be the last member. Zucchini still standing. Dark Matter secure their second round point and take a 2-0 lead on Quarantine.
Yeah, really nice push there. The problem is, again, that it's that 5-story building is taking the teams a long time to clear, and so that push from the west, they made it over there, and they were taking their time to try to clear, but by the time they're done, most of the east had already fallen apart, and so they're not quite in sync with each other. Oh, my apologies. I don't know what is going on with my replays today. Taking a look at an old replay from round 1 there, instead of the one on Quarantine I wanted to show, but they're taking a long time to clear this 5-story building, and it's really slowing up these teams. And they need to find a better way to either just avoid it outright or to, find a better approach, find a way to clear that building quickly, either by committing more people to it or just by moving, relatively quickly. Although there's a lot of angles inside of that building. It is not an easy one to clear by any means.
There's a lot of angles on this map, period.
Yeah,
no,
very
especially
true.
after the recent updates. All these buildings adding new obtainable floors and windows and sight lines that were previously locked or not even existent in some cases. The south rooftop evening out the deficit in the north that we had previously, which gave the north a heavy advantage in approach and attack defense. A lot of stuff changing on this map, which really just changes the game on it, and a lot of teams have been able to adapt. Of course, there's going to be a lot of adaptation still left to go, especially once we see smokes reintroduced and corrected and in use again, because those are key to a lot of teams' attack, and they're still adjusting to that, that suspension of their use in league play. So anyways, we're into the third round now. Dark Matter again on offense. They actually get the coveted quick spawn for the ambulance objective, which is where we are now, and it looks like they're ready to get going out of the gate. Mad Outdoors and Aquafighter will be the tip of the spear as they hold the front part of this push, and we push into round 3.
Young sweeping across the street there, does catch a bullet for his trouble, but now he's in a better position to try to put a little bit more pressure on this offensive push. If he can get into a nice angle, he could maybe pick up Dr. Aquafighter here on the side or Mad Outdoors, but they're both keeping an eye out for him, looking for an angle. Young looking for a way to try to see if he just looks on this other side of this pillar, he could find a little slice of an angle that he might be able to get a pick for. And this has slowed up the offense quite a bit, right? This is now
it's hit the
a
brakes
big
hard.
problem for them.
Yeah, I'm interested to see now what's going to happen here with Wilsell. She's been able to get herself to an interesting angle that the defense isn't quite ready for. She could grab a couple of picks here if she finds a good position, which is protected from some return fire. She can maneuver herself in and grab a couple of picks before either getting picked up or maneuvering out again. Young still under fire. He still hit the brakes hard. They are just so unsure as to whether or not he's dead or alive. And he's just tucked in, just waiting, gaining as much intel as he can. You hear him calling out on the radio. I don't know what he's saying because BRSEK is a Russian team, so their primary communicative language will be Russian. Also why I said that Senior Sanchez may have a bit of problem communicating with this team, because I do believe he is, again, a reservist and not one of their main roster members.
Shots ring out there from Young as Zucchini rotates down into the fence. A nice little re-peek by Zucchini looking to do the damage, but Young tucks in. And now Aquafighter looking for him, but not quick enough as Young finds.
And he hears Zucchini, but not fast enough. There's Zucchini to grab the refrag, and Young's days are done.
Very nice little sweep there by Zucchini to clean things up. And there's Neo. I was keeping an eye on him on the mini-map. He was swept all the way around to the east. And he's been taking, you know, he wasn't taking his time. He was moving very quickly, but he's definitely taken a good chunk of the map, given it a wide berth. But now the defense not really prepared for him. The only one on this side is Partisan, who may be able to deal with him on this street cross if he peeks or makes noise at the right time.
He's got to slow that walk up. That walk is kind of loud. Not to say it'll get him caught, but he and Neo, Partisan and Neo, will find a trade out full with the headshot, and Senior Sanchez will grab Wilso. It's now Zucchini and Matt outdoors to lead the charge into the objective against a 3-person defense from BRSEK. Zucchini grabbing a nice headshot on the Tankus, and that'll help clear things up for Matt, who's gone prone to avoid being shot through the little viewpoint window of this wall. It's also got a very nice little angle if Vladic decides to take a quick peek around that objective wall, which it looks like Vladic. Ooh, nope. Oh, yep. He's going to take a peek. Is Matt going to see it? Oh, but Vladic sees Matt instead. Vladic grabs the pick. Now Zucchini trying to reach over the wall to get Vladic, and Vladic returns the favor, uses the hillside there to his advantage, and grabs BRSEK their first point on the map, and we are still alive here. Noman, it's not a blowout.
No, BRSEK definitely getting back on the board. A nice little even kill spread for them as well, and a nice play. Let's see if that replay actually captured this time. We're trying to be as cautious as possible. Yeah, there it is. Zucchini sweeping across the street, looking for that shot over the top of the barricade, but it's not going to work out for him, as obviously the height differences on both sides pretty disparate there, giving BRSEK the better opportunity. A nice attempt by Dark Matter, but just kind of, they got picked apart, right, in their different approaches. Yeah. They got a little too slow, got a little too disconnected, and BRSEK definitely capitalized on some of those locations. But Zucchini did a great job. He's got 5 kills so far on the round. I mean, he has been doing good work when he gets in range. Sure. So we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, it seems like when the brakes were hit on Dark Matter in that round, they went into like intel gathering mode. I mean, there was a bit of fire, there was a bit of suppression coming in from Zucchini, I believe it was, there in the early round, who was doing that for. So the LMG was pumping rounds towards that area, trying to keep the defensive heads down, so if the team was moving, but the team stopped moving. They went into like intel gathering mode, into you know, is he dead, is he not? I mean, there were slight movements, there were slight changes in angling, don't get me wrong, but I feel like they failed to keep the momentum going. There's a bit to say about, you know, too much communication or too much intel being shared sometimes, especially when you're attacking, because that time is precious. And we saw, you know, when the brakes got put on, the defense was able to get settled in, get into nice defensive positioning, and they were able to, like you said, pick it apart. But anyways, these two teams are not waiting around when that timer is good to go. They are set and ready, and we are set and ready for round 4. As Dark Matter is back on the defense now, hoping to spread this lead back out again.
Now we're seeing BRSEK get that across the street spawn. So this is the other quick spawn, right? You got your western quick spawn. This one affords the offense an opportunity to sort of like frontal attack the defense as they get into position, both on the east and west sides.
Yeah, I'd call this one like a quick peek spawn.
Yes.
Because it's not really quick in terms of like you can run up to it as fast and get the cap, but you can definitely get to, like you said, this position like Partisan's in and get that peek across and into a pretty valuable intel gathering position. It looks like there's already some action, or sounds like some
Yeah,
action.
Matt
already in the east.
Outdoors has a player from BRSEK pinned behind this platform. He's gonna need assistance from his team. It's Senior Sanchez. They're tucked in behind. Now Matt Outdoors just primed and ready to go. I mean, he has got the gun up. He has got the gun ready. He's just waiting for Sanchez to move and catch a bullet for his troubles.
Yep, just sitting there kind of cursing, being seen and pinned down already. No movement really coming from him, but Matt Outdoors is going to take a bit of a rotation. If you look far off in the distance, you'll see him rotating around over towards the underpass, where he'll now wait or continue his push up, looking for that pick. He's getting a little anxious, spreading that defense out far wide east. BRSEK otherwise moving fairly well, as expected, I guess, after the first few rounds we've seen. Noman, they're pretty particular with their movements. It seems like they make a lot of communication as well, similar to Dark Matter. Really, their playstyles mirror each other a lot. However, I do see some time management issues, and maybe that's due to the more recent time changes, right? With the 5-minute round instead of the previous 6.
Zucchini there putting the pressure onto Vladic on that peak. I mean, what an angle to check for Zucchini. He's definitely got that map awareness of where these guys can be coming from. Matt Outdoors finally able to deal with Senior Sanchez on that eastern side, and Zucchini getting picked up by Parzen from the other rooftop. You know, that new rooftop is a very exciting place. A lot of people like it. It's a strong spot, but you still got to be wary of the original, the OG rooftop. Partisan there using it very effectively to deal with Zucchini's position on the objective. It's going to force Aquafighter to rotate onto the objective. You can kind of see there in the middle of your screen. Had to take Zucchini's spot after he got downed. 2 minutes left on the clock, and Matt Outdoors confirming his kill out here.
Yeah, and just as a correction, Senior Sanchez previously thought to be a reservist. I forgot about the Challenger Cup, roster lockdown. There are no reservists allowed in this stage of the postseason, so he is a rostered member. So thank you to, who was that corrected me? Section I in the chat for that correction on that. And yes, we are 1 minute 45 seconds here into round 4. It's a 4v4. And I'm going to force you to listen to this other 4 sound in this sentence.
Thanks. Thank you, Sleepy. Very, very well done. Yes, BRSEK with 1.5 minutes left in this round. Still got a ways to go. I mean, you've got to push onto this objective. You've got to clear at least 1 building, if not 2, to try to be really safe in terms of your approach. And they have, quickly really started running out of time.
They really only need to clear Aqua at this moment. Matt is on a real far flank. He's running hard, but I don't think if Vladic were to push in here and manages to get the advantage over Dr. Aquafighter, it could be a cap opportunity because Matt's just too far out. But now that I've said that, there's been no push. Vladic is going to rotate off just in time, right into Matt Outdoors' view, but he drops into the overpass. Oh, and they trade out in the center from the garage. BRSEK now on the eastern push.
Yeah, they've got to commit. 40 seconds left. There's no time like the present. Their watches are about to beep at 30 seconds. Every player's watch gives a little beep, beep, beep to let you know that you're running out of time. And there it is. You saw them all stand up and start running at the same time. That's the sound of the watch. Getting things going, and Neo tucked into a nice little sneaky position. Here's going to nab one. Young finds him. Now the pressure's on. 19 seconds left. They've got to get 2 kills in order to try to win this. There's not likely to be a cap, but now Partisan sweeping around the side. Aquafighter pops the corner, finds one. Is looking for the second one. Young. She's flash. She cannot see, but the time is running out. 1 second left. No. Dark Matter hold on just long enough. And there it is. BRSEK running out of time. Exactly what they did not want to see there. Dark Matter getting at 3rd point, and now they are on match point. I mean, they've got a Marsoc round to deal with, but they could seal the deal here if BRSEK can't hold on to this defensive round.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. BRSEK's got their work cut out for them. The next objective moves over to the west, that western gas station objective. So some would say an easy objective to defend. It has been made a bit easier. Some additional cover added there to one side, so it could help you in the early round. Might not be too great for late game if the offense is able to rotate north, but yeah, I mean, a lot of things to go into this BRSEK, though. This is do or die. Last opportunity for them to stay alive here, or else Dark Matter clenches yet another round and continue their sweep towards the possibility of taking today's Challenger Cup group.
Yeah, they've still got a good bit of work ahead of them. I mean, we got 3 more rounds of games after this one for these teams to still have to fight through, and you know, the day's really just getting started for a lot of these teams. But Dark Matter will put themselves in a good position, right? 2-0 here in round 3 is a good way to start off, but it's only going to get harder for them as the day goes on.
Yeah, just an update for folks. Looks like some of the other scores have been fixed. Or have been fixed. Jesus.
Nice.
Have been finished, have been completed. Those rounds have been completed. So some score updates there quickly. Hurricanes 4-0 over Newbies. Supernatural 5-0 over Counting Coup. Entity 4-2 over Ghost Cell 6. Virtual Secret 2-4 versus Valor. Animal House 4-0 over Immortal. Raptors 4-0 over Pandemonium. Ember 4-2 over Rome, and Kai 4-1 over Hand of Death. So just a few matches left in this round, ours being one of them. So stay tuned as we continue to cover this action, and we're getting into round 5 now. Dark Matter hoping to clench things here.
I mean, they get the quick spawn. They're getting all the speedy spawns on their sides for offense here, and now the pressure's coming in. Yeah, BRSEK already hearing these shots. Mad Outdoors gonna find the first pick. Partisan going down early. Gonna be a 5v4. The confirmation shots coming out there, and now BRSEK is they're kind of tied up here, right? I mean, they don't know that they can cross out of gas station or not, because right now the offense may have a line, and in fact, Mad Outdoors does have a line on that cross right there. He is looking out towards where Tankus' position is, and there's the pressure shots coming out specifically in that area. So this is kind of like they have to commit to their positions and they have to hit their shots. They don't really have a lot of options here because Dark Matter is slowly starting to close the noose. You can see them all stacked up on the hospital there on the east side.
And I mean, you can see Tankus here being able to capitalize on this position he's in, whereas previously he wouldn't have been able to because there was no wall there on the other side of that building. And now he's able to sit in that position easily because that wall is there, keeping him from being seen by Zucchini, who's just down by ambulance. Vladic now rotating over into center house. Neo, I think, maybe saw the feet come across, so there's a possibility Neo could be taking shots, and he does. Neo grabbing Vladic from center. And that will definitely help open up the defense. That's 2 down, and those were 2 key people that were trying to get out, the 2 cross.
This is still going to be a tough push to make, because if BRSEK tucks in and punishes just by holding tight angles on the objective, this is still going to be a difficult approach.
Zucchini could literally go prone from here, or just crouch slowly enough and get within the bounds of the cap.
Yeah, BRSEK does not have the opportunity to rotate. Young finding one there on Mad Outdoors as he sweeps around a little too slowly. And there's Zucchini with the M249 response. Finding a pick onto Young, a nice headshot as he rains fire down onto the objective. That's suppressive fire. And this has got to make BRSEK worried, right? When you start hearing suppressive fire, you have to assume somebody's trying to come cap. Now, in this case, Dark Matter not sending anybody for that particular job, but it is something you definitely have to worry about. Neo there with a nice pick onto Tankus is just going to leave the final member, Sanchez, on the objective. 4 members of Dark Matter. It's all but over here, barring some sort of miracle.
Yeah, Tankus had an angle where he might have been able to catch Will Sell out to get the peak shot and help even things down a bit. Senior Sanchez will grab Zucchini, but now they know where he is. He's going to have to tuck in. He rotates out, and Will Sell will grab the angle, grab the pick, and grab the round, which will give Dark Matter the win. 4-1 here on Quarantine, and quite some impressive play.
Yeah, that was a fantastic series there by Dark Matter. They definitely showed their strengths. They showed their veteran strengths there. A couple of slip-ups here and there, a little bit of time management, but overall, they seem to hold the line quite well in that series. And now that is going to give them the round 2 win. And that means we're going to have to take a short intermission. I hope this time when I say short, I mean short. Intermission while we get set up for our 3rd round of matches. So we'll be back in just a few moments. Don't go too far. We have got plenty of Onward action coming at you for the next couple hours. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.